Trevor and his girlfriend Nina are dancing in an abandoned warehouse in a small Colorado town while his friend Kyle is kissing his current partner. Even though Kyle coughs up blood, his girlfriend continues to kiss him. This disgusts Trevor and Nina, so they leave for another room where something is scuttling in the dark. When the community awakens, it finds that the state has dispatched military personnel to establish a quarantine that will last for 24 hours. No one is permitted to enter or exit the town since the roads are closed. The road soon becomes congested, and people begin to gripe about it and even argue with the soldiers because they haven't been given a reason. In particular, a couple is in a critical need of departure in order to transport their ailing youngster to a city hospital. Because the Army has brought specialists who are already checking on sick patients, Corporal Sarah persuades them to transport the boy to the local hospital. She then asks Captain Rhodes if the expert account is accurate, but Rhodes tells her to be quiet and obey orders. A soldier watches DJ Paul at the radio station to ensure he provides the public with the information they need. Trevor gets startled by something in the shadows back at the warehouse, but it's Nina. Kyle's nose begins to bleed as he declares it's time to go. He still asks his girl to accompany him home, but she leaves alone since she fears he might be ill. His fling is driving through the woodland when she hears some roaring, and Kyle is leaving in Trevor's car. As the enigmatic thing pursues her, she makes an attempt to flee, but regrettably she stumbles and rolls on the ground before falling into the river. The beast discovers her at that precise moment. Sarah puts him to work in response to Salazar's attempts to tease her when a group of privates arrive at the roadblock a little while later. She then takes Crane to see her childhood house in the city. She chastises her brother Trevor and Nina for not returning her calls after seeing them doing it on the couch. Sarah is irater because her mother requires round-the-clock care, and neither of them is aware of the quarantine. Sarah quickly goes upstairs to see how her mother Francine is doing because she isn't feeling well. Nina discovers she has numerous messages from her father down below. When Sarah returns, Trevor tells her that Francine has been feeling sick since the morning. Trevor wants to check on Kyle after Nina informs her about his symptoms, but Sarah advises her to stay at home with their mother while she does it. When Sarah and Crane get at Kyle's house, it is already night, and they are shocked to see the door unlocked. The soldiers carefully check the premises because the rooms are covered in blood, but Kyle is not there. Crane is standing against the drapes when two bodies, Kyle's mangled parents, suddenly fall on top of him. When the phone doesn't work, Sarah tries to call the police, so she calls her captain on the military radio as she leaves. Rhodes says that because there are too many rumors circulating, they have stopped all phone lines until they have control of the situation. They also pledged to send the police to Kyle's residence. Sarah then takes Nina, Trevor, and Francine to the hospital. Francine's nose begins to bleed during the ride. When they eventually get at the hospital, the nurse urges Sarah to wait in line like everyone else because the facility is crowded with patients who are all having the same symptoms. Trevor and Nina go to see their father, who is also in this hospital. Sarah realizes that this is more than a routine exercise, as they were informed when she sees Salazar and other troops manning the hospital. After that, Rhodes takes Sarah to see CDC physician Logan. She acknowledges that Kyle's parents had bite marks when Logan wonders whether they were caused by an animal, but she doesn't believe it was an animal because the bodies couldn't have been concealed behind the drapes. Crane goes to notify Sarah and Logan that Francine and many other patients are freezing in the waiting area. Nina's father experiences the same event at the same moment. The virus spreads swiftly throughout his body, turning him into a zombie that leaps from his bed to attack his own wife, tearing her face off in the process. Two zombies unexpectedly jump on a worker at the power plant, pushing her against the fence so they may eat her. Both zombies are set on fire by a short circuit caused by the fence's trembling and the blood that is falling. The town's lights start to go out when the plant's machinery breaks down. A body is flung into the air after a group of zombies' vehicles crash in the middle of the road. 3 police officers are looking through the rooms at Kyle's house when they discover a third body between the deceased couple. Kyle is the one who has turned into a zombie and, disregarding the police officers' firearms, charges at them in an attempt to murder them all. Paul and his security soldier are in the radio station when they hear all the yelling and turn to face the window to see the zombies dragging people away to eat. When the soldier rushes outside to assist the villagers, a group of zombies ambush him and carry him away so they can devour him as well. Paul quickly returns to the radio station and shuts the door after spotting another zombie after him. The hospital's backup generators restore power just in time to turn the frozen patients into zombies as well. They all lose their minds and begin attacking any regular person they come into contact with. As Nina and Trevor flee her father's room, they watch in horror as a zombie leaps on a nurse after walking on the ceiling. When some zombies spot them and start to go after them, the couple starts to flee and throws anything they can to slow the zombies down. The couple escapes by jumping over the fence after they manage to get through the back door and block it with a garbage can, but additional zombies are already outside. Blood is splattered all within, adding to the mayhem and carnage. Rhodes rushes into an empty hallway and shuts the door to keep the zombies out because there are nearly no people remaining, and too many zombies to combat at once. After locating him, Sarah inquires about her mother, but it is now impossible to locate her. When Rhodes opens a second door to discover an escape, a group of zombies emerge. He succeeds in driving a few away, but soon there are too many animals to deal with, and Rhodes is taken prisoner to be eaten. When Sarah, Logan, and Crane notice this, Crane drops the car keys after Logan pushes him to go first. They dash to a different hallway in search of a room that is empty so they can hide there. A zombie tries to approach Crane after spotting him on the ground, but Sarah pulls him into the room in time and locks the door. The group glances out the window and discovers that the zombies have also taken over the parking lot after Sarah and Crane move some furniture in front of the door. Sarah suggests that they construct Molotov bombs to divert the zombies and make their getaway in a car because Crane doesn't have a gun and hers isn't loaded. Sarah determines that since Crane misplaced her car keys, they should locate Rhodes's keys so they might flee in his vehicle. As they run through the forest, Travis and Nina come upon dozens of dead bodies on the ground. Even when a body tries to snap at them, it dies again. The couple eventually arrives downtown, where they discover a bloodbath as well. They wait for the main street to clear before sprinting to the radio station's front door, though. When they begin beating on it, a zombie notices and starts to run in their direction. Fortunately, Paul allows them in before the zombie can get to them by opening the door. Paul then leads them to the main room, where the original couple is waiting for them and informs them that their kid has passed away. The wife starts coughing at that point, but she insists it's a cold she had before everything started. Paul also coughs, but Nina is unsure if she should believe them. To warn others not to go to the hospital, Trevor dashes to the radio equipment and sends out a message with their location. Francine, who is now also a zombie, hears this message on a car radio. Returning to Sarah and Craig, they scale the vents and make quick movements to stay clear of the zombies attempting to get to them via the grills. When they finally locate the room containing Rhodes's body, Sarah leaps down, but someone attacking her emerges from the cabinet. She swiftly defends herself and learns that Salazar is the only one who hid in the cabinet before everyone became enraged. Unaware that Rhodes is swallowing his own eye and wakes up as a zombie, then, as he lacks legs, he grabs Sarah and uses her as a counterweight to enter the vent. They steal the car keys and return to the vents. Sarah starts to move more quickly after kicking his face to get him release his grip. Sarah's legs fall through the hole when the zombies in another room use mops and other objects to repeatedly strike the vents until they shatter it. Rhodes is getting closer as those animals continue to try to seize her feet, but Salazar returns for Sarah and rescues her from the pit in time. They dash back into the room with Logan, and Rhodes shows up and bites Crane's hand as he tries to shut off the vent. In an attempt to disinfect the wound, Sarah quickly gets some bleach and applies it. Logan notes that the bleach has a chance to work, and Sarah shields Crane as a nervous Salazar draws his rifle and prepares to shoot. Salazar finally kills Rhodes by shooting him as he continues to make noises in the vent. Salazar eventually drops his gun as Sarah threatens to kill Crane if he turns. They ultimately exit the hospital when Crane smashes the window with a chair and they leap out. Sarah then takes one of Salazar's guns after the group uses whatever they can find in the area to construct makeshift weapons. Salazar must teach Sarah that only a shot to the head will kill a zombie because a zombie arrives instantly and Sarah's shots are ineffective. Logan only looks as more adversaries arrive and the soldiers cooperate to defeat them all. They make some pretty good tools, and soon all the zombies around them are defeated. Regretfully, the hospital zombies also begin to leap through the windows. The soldiers continue to fight, either decapitating their opponents or bashing their heads to death. Logan reveals he has his own automobile and rushes toward it while everyone is preoccupied. When a woman tries to plead for his assistance, he simply shoves her in the direction of a zombie to ward it off before getting into the car and leaving. They light many Molotov bombs and toss them at the zombies while hiding behind a car, starting a large fire that gradually kills the beasts. After that, they dash to Rhodes's car, where they must kill a few zombies who manage to escape the flames before boarding. As more creatures appear and attempt to cling to the automobile, Sarah accelerates the vehicle to force them to drop off. After leaving the hospital, the gang drives through the town, where they witness devastation and death all around them. They eventually come to a gun store, so Sarah locks Crane in the car as a precaution before she and Salazar enter the establishment. Unfortunately, Crane becomes a zombie by the time the others return with a slew of weapons after he begins to bleed. When a zombie tries to enter the radio station using the emergency ladder, Trevor kills him by hurling a TV on his skull. Nina shows him that the tissues in the trash can may contain blood when he returns inside. The adults keep accusing one another as she reaches for a knife and threatens to force them to disclose who is bleeding. Nina, in a panic, stabs Paul in the skull to kill him after he suddenly freezes and starts turning into a zombie. Trevor transmits a fresh message via the radio once more. When Sarah hears her brother's voice, she flips the car around and runs over every zombie to save time as the military prepare to depart town. After spotting her through the window at the station, Trevor disregards Nina's cautions and rushes outside to meet Francine. Francine tries to assault her sons, but Sarah comes and runs her over with the car. When Nina rushes upstairs to inform the elderly couple that they are leaving, she discovers that the room is oddly empty. She discovers the spouse dead when she turns to look behind the couch. After the zombified wife tackles her to the ground behind her, Nina must begin battling her with whatever object she can find in the room. Trevor enters at that point, and they begin fighting her together with great cooperation. Salazar observes some people stranded behind a gate outside. They begin to ascend it in order to get to the soldiers, but zombies ambush them from behind. Trevor and Nina shove the hideous woman through the window at that precise moment, and Sarah and Salazar shoot her to death as soon as she lands. The party can now depart in the automobile when the gunshot frightens the zombies behind the gate. Sarah recalls that Crane is vegetarian, and Salazar questions why Crane won't attack them during the voyage. Salazar obviously doesn't trust Crane because he continues to make fun of him and threaten him. They learn that the other troops have also turned into zombies when they eventually reach the barricade. When one of them reaches inside the vehicle, Trevor emerges and shoots him. He's joined by Salazar and Sarah, who use their rifles to eliminate as many zombies as they can, but the undead keep coming. All they can do is get into the car and head back. Trevor tells them about the abandoned warehouse because they have nowhere else to go. Sarah drives through the woods as they see Kyle running amid the trees. The car continues to drive and collides with a tree as they fight to keep Kyle's mouth away from their bodies. Sarah can easily shoot Kyle in the head because he is now wedged between the wood and the shattered glass. After that, Crane joins the gang as they continue to walk. As they get at the warehouse, Crane has had enough of Salazar's constant threats and insults. A group of zombies quickly break through the door and the walls to assault them after he begins yelling to reveal their location. The humans start shooting, but Trevor encourages his friends to follow him because there are too many foes to handle. It turns out that the basement is a real remote bunker. When a few zombies attempt to pursue the party, they are shot at until they pass through the heavy metal door and lock it. Then, to their surprise, they discover a fully functional research facility when they unlock a door near the rear. They search the computers for solutions, but whoever was present erased everything before fleeing. Logan has been deleting the evidence, so Sarah and Salazar begin checking every room after hearing a sudden noise. Logan says that he was a part of Project Wildfire, which studied biochemical agents before the two threatened to shoot him. Trevor interrupts him, claiming that the project isn't responsible for the zombie virus, after discovering a video file on the computer. A scientist on the video acknowledges that the virus they developed to target foreign forces has changed and become uncontrollable. When the Doctor too turns into a zombie and destroys the camera, the video comes to an end. The group leaves the office after hearing a roar nearby and discovers the zombified Doctor. They begin shooting him until he becomes too terrified and flees. They find that he has gotten away by scuttling through the vents. Salazar swiftly decapitates the zombie who tries to assault him. When they hear a commotion, the pair returns to the others and shoots at the vents. Logan is clueless about the location of the emergency exits, but Salazar identifies this bunker as a wartime type and claims that all they have to do to get out is locate the missile silos. The Doctor grabs Logan from above as the squad moves down the hallways. Before he can dispose of the body in front of the others, he swiftly kills him. The group rushes up, but they are still unable to locate the silo after some time of wondering. They choose to divide in order to cover more ground in spite of Salazar's objections. In the end, Sarah and Salazar locate the silo first and enter via the first door without any problems. They discover a ton of zombies hiding in the next room, though, once they cross the hallway. The zombies encircle Salazar and knock him to the ground as both troops start shooting. Before the creatures start consuming him, Trevor pulls Sarah into another secure room as she flees. The siblings collaborate to create some large fire throwers after she discovers a number of missile propulsion tanks there. The doctor then emerges behind Sarah as she goes back into the hallway to attract the Horde's attention. Crane remembers his affections for Sarah as she fights off her assailant, and he shows himself in the crowd, firing his gun until he runs out of ammunition. The animals chase after her, but Trevor and Nina turn on the tanks as they get to the door. As a result, the zombies are instantaneously destroyed by enormous flames that spread throughout the entire complex, leaving no monsters standing. After that, the three of them exit the silo and locate Logan's vehicle. They hear on the radio that the virus has been completely contained as they leave, but there's a zombie on the loose while traveling. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification to watch more interesting videos like this. Thanks for watching.